Hey everybody, I wanted to do a quick video for you guys. I used to be a vegetation management specialist in the Northwest, Pacific Northwest, and as a business, and so I keep an eye out for weeds and toxic weeds and invasive weeds and things like that. And so as we start a homestead, or maybe you're a homesteader, there's certain weeds you really don't want on your property. There's things that you really want to get control of. And I've been driving around here in the Midwest, and especially here in Indiana where I live at, I see a lot of what I have behind me right now. This is called Poison Hemlock, and it is extremely toxic to grazing animals. And this is in its bloom stage. It's tall here. You can see that, this whole fence line is just full of it. Millions and millions of poison hemlock seeds. And years ago, when a lot of farmers were running grazing animals, they would have eradicated this. They would have dealt with it. But what we see as farming agriculture has shifted more to confinement livestock and not so much pasture-based livestock, I've noticed that our fence rows, our pastures, our properties are just exploding with these invasive weeds, and this is one of them. And it is absolutely death to grazing animals. And now grazing animals a lot of times will go graze around it if you got grass and things like that. But this is one of them you don't want to let go. And you can see the stalks here have kind of a red and green tint with white tint to it. It kind of mimics Queen Anne's lace a little bit. The bloom does, but the stalk is different. And this gets over, 6-8 feet tall, poison hemlock does. And it just, continues to grow. And it continues to spread. And so I would really recommend, if you got poison hemlock starting on your homestead, on your property, get a hold of it, get on top of it, start mowing it. You can mow it. There is some toxicity if you go into it with a weed eater and you get it all over your body. Don't do that. If you're going to do it with a weed eater, make sure your body is covered, and make sure you're not getting that juice on your body, because it can make you sick. But go in and mechanical means, run your rotary mower through it if you can on a tractor or something like that. There again, if I was on a tractor, I'd be careful that I'm not on a cabless tractor. I'd probably want to be in a cab tractor, or catch it when it's small and mow it off. Or there's chemical, it doesn't take a lot of 2,4-D or LV4, amine 3 is some chemicals you can buy at your farm store. It doesn't take a high dose to kill it. It's not hard to kill, but you need to get on top of it because it is so invasive. Glyphosate also, which is Roundup, will kill it also. But also, remember, glyphosate, if you're going to use Roundup, is non-selective, so it's going to kill the grass along with it. So you probably want to go with a selective herbicide if you're going to use herbicide. If not, I get that. That's okay. But get on top of it. Mow it down. Use mechanical means to get it chopped down before it goes to bloom like this and goes to seed, because every one of these seeds is just, making the patch bigger. So if you like videos like this, if you think they're helpful for your homestead, for you personally, or you'd like to see more videos like this, put it in the comment section. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's great. We're growing that. We're also over on Facebook, Instagram, and we're just going to try to go along. I'll probably do more videos pointing out invasive weeds that you need to keep an eye out for, you need to work on, try to manage on your homestead, on your property. I understand you might be in other parts of the United States. Your invasive species in Arizona is going to be different than here in Indiana, or Pacific Northwest is going to be different than Ohio. I get all that. And there's species there that I don't have experience with, so I can't really speak into. So I hope you have grace with us on that area. Look into those things. Get a hold of your conservation office, or just start asking around local old timers, and they'll tell you, hey, that's something you want to manage. Get control of that. In certain states, I know in the Pacific Northwest, they have weed management boards, and they're actually people in the community that go around and we'll bring it to your attention if you've got something invasive. We don't have that in Indiana. I wish we did, because I think a lot of people they don't pay attention, and they're busy, a lot of these herbicides are getting chemical resistance to them. Like, take for instance, I'm in a field right now. Let me show you this. Look at these pigweeds right here. This farmer sprayed these pigweeds. They're all dying. But look right back there. You see some pigweeds right there in the midst of these other pigweeds that are healthy. Those pigweeds are going to get chemical resistance. The ones around them are dying, but look at that one, no wilt to it. We talk about chemical resistance and why herbicides, and they're making stronger herbicides, they're having to change herbicide formulations. Right there is that why. What happens is way back when these herbicides were being developed, the chemical companies, they would prescribe a lower dose, and I get that because the lower environmental impact, so to speak. And what happened is some of these plants are more hardy, and that dose is so low, it doesn't kill the hardier plants, and then they just get hardier. The weaker ones die, like we see in the field right there. We got pigweed that is dying. But you can see here and back here, pigweed that is not dying, and they're going to get hardier, and they're going to be harder to kill, and then they get chemical resistance. And then you have a bigger problem, because how do you kill these mutant weeds as they spread seed? So it's a cycle. And you got to get on top of it. You can't ignore these kind of things. And like I said, there's a multiple approaches to take to it. Attack it from multiple fronts. And if you're limited to only a certain mean, you don't want any chemical, I get that. Or if you don't want to use mechanical, I get that, whatever. But get on top of it, get aggressive. Because if you've got a homestead property and you let these invasive species go, they will take over your property. And your pasture land will become a thistle patch or a poison hemlock patch, just like we see down this side ditch right here. And this will continue now on this farm. This farmer will continue to spray out here, but obviously I know these farmers, they don't care about their side ditches, and it disappoints me. They're a younger generation, and they don't care. But other farmers are maintaining side ditches, and would control this because they know the devastating effect of these invasive species. But as we get as we get away from really tending the land, caring about stewardship of our property, and we have so much limited time, so many limited resources, these things get overlooked. But that doesn't mean you have to do that on your homestead. So get out there, attack them, get on top of them, and it may take a few years to get control. But if you don't start now, it's just going to continue to get worse. So start. In this situation right here, what I do is I would either come in and spray them with a selective herbicide, like immediately, or I would come in here and I would rotary mow those down before those seeds mature anymore and drop on the ground. Some of them's already done that, but I try to catch it as much as I could, as soon as I could. So do what you can when you can, and eventually you'll get on top of it. So yeah, if you like content like this, let me know if it's helpful. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and until next time, have a good day on the farm.